Spider-Man. He has the powers of a spider.
Hence the name.
Gross. Does he look like a spider?
No, more like a man.
Climbs walls, shoots webs.
Yeah, bingo.
Out of his butt?
No. Oh. Well, maybe, I don't know. Honestly, I hope not.
Super weird.
Well, hello, sexy monkeys. Welcome back to SkyGeneYouTube Experience. I'm Ben. Today, I'm talking about the sequel for Doctor Strange. Yes, I absolutely enjoyed the first Doctor Strange, so I was really excited for this movie. And did it live up to my hype? Kinda. It's definitely not up there in the top. No, it's not in top 10. But it's not in the bottom 20 either. It's not bad at all, but it's not the greatest. But it was good from start to finish. And I did doze off a little bit in the middle just because it was 94 fucking degrees outside and the AC inside felt so good. So I kind of did a little...
Thank you. And now, a piece from the classic Kaizen.
So Sam Raimi, of course, he did Evil Dead and Spider-Man. But mostly Evil Dead, a lot of people remember him from that. You definitely got the vibe in this movie maybe 5 or 6 times where you're like, Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2. And I loved it. I loved it because only people like hardcore fans like me, like Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, ew, Scream. Yeah. And I got, you can't see him, but I got Jason. He's over there. Anyway, us horror fans, we recognized instantly, but the non-horror fans, you're not even going to think about it. It's just going to whoop. But I loved it, seeing those Easter eggs.
It's over!
The movie starts off like you're going quick. I absolutely love that. And it definitely gives you still that MCU vibe from the first Doctor Strange of the everything just moving around and it's just kind of like, oh. So like for me, I was in the first row in the center aisle. This is my first time being front row because I really just like, fuck it, let's get really close up. And I was like, whoa. This movie tripped me out. In the opening scene, you start off, you just go.
You suck.
In this movie, you get introduced to, I believe, 3 or 4, maybe 5 Doctor Strange. I'm going to let you guys know right now, I've never read a comic book in my life. Yeah, I have nothing against it. I have nothing against it. It just wasn't me. I just did other things. But I really enjoy all the MCU movies. I really do. But again, so a lot of this stuff, just all the small little things that you comic book guys know, it's just not going to register with me. So I'm giving you the point of view from somebody that never read a comic ever. Like Doctor Strange, I knew nothing about him until I watched the first movie. So I am representing that group of people. It really gave me the vibe of the Dark Knight Batman, where Bruce Wayne and Rachel, you know, like Bruce Wayne's in love with Rachel, but Rachel is with someone else. In this movie, he deals with that. Doctor Strange and his girl that he's in love with, she is getting married to someone else. And it's just like, I instantly thought of the Dark Knight scene, 100%. Wanda, she stole this film, in my opinion. So it's supposed to be a sequel for Doctor Strange, but it really felt like an origin story for Black Widow. Wanda, it was just like, wow, she stole this shit. She was introduced very early, and they talk about WandaVision and all that. But she really killed it in this movie. Of all the movies she's ever been in, you know, Scarlet Witch, Elizabeth Olsen, this is the best of all those movies. They get to talk about Westview, so if you didn't seen WandaVision on Disney Plus yet, you still can understand what's going on, but I still recommend watching all that WandaVision about the Westview because they talk about that. And I recommend doing that because it helps a little bit. And I did. I watched the whole thing before I seen this, and so I was not that confused. Really, in this, like, Wanda, it's all about the kids again. She knows in the multi-universe, somewhere out there, she's there with her kids. So she's like, yo, I want to go to that person. So she will find a different universe of her with the kids, and she will transfer her body to that body and really take over that body to be with the kids. And it deals with that in this movie. With the multi-universe, that's introduced a new character. America Chavez, that sounds more correct. Let's say she's like an X-Men mutant. She has a power. Her power is she can go to multi-universes. Not multi-universes. This is just hard to say. I'm sorry. American Chavez has the power like an X-Men to go from one universe to another universe through the multi-universe portal, and she doesn't know how. She can't control it because she's still young and learning her powers, and she is the person that Wanda wants to get so she can use her to go to herself. Like, this is so confusing, dude. Okay, essentially, Wanda wants to find this new person, American Chavez, to go back in time or to another universe. It's so hard to understand. Anyway, BD Wong, he looks great. Finally, he loses some weight. I'm not saying when he was first introduced in Prometheus, he looked great, but then after that, he kind of blew up a little bit. Still, I'm not judging. I have nothing against it. But what I'm trying to say is, in this, he lost some weight, and he looks really good. And he's also a badass. Reminds me of John Wick 3, when, I can't think of his name right now. But the guy at the front desk that takes care of the dog, he becomes a badass. And BD Wong, he's a badass in this. It was nice to go back to Cumberbatch. Cumberbatch in the first movie I really enjoyed. And you weren't there long for this movie, but at least you go back. It reminded me of like Wonder Woman, the sequel, 1984. You go back for that flashback scene and then just another scene. Kind of like that. Bruce Campbell. Told you. Evil Dead. Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi, they grew up together. They definitely are like best friends. So when Sam Raimi does a film, you're going to get a Bruce cameo. And he has one in this where it stands out pretty damn good. And he has one of the post credits is Bruce Campbell. Check it out. I highly recommend it. It's funny as fuck. So in this movie, you're introduced to Earth 838 and Earth 616, which are the numbers of Earths throughout the multi-universe. This is giving the vibe of the Loki, the time variant. Yeah, it's kind of like they talk about it in that way of these different Earths, which is cool. Okay, so this is a big spoiler. If you don't want to know what this is, I'm going to tell you right now so you can stop. But the big spoiler would be the Illuminati. Yes, the Captain Carter. You have the X-Men, Professor Xavier. We all knew that one, but you got the a member of Fantastic Four, Captain Marvel, Captain Carter. I'm sure I just said one of those two. And another guy, Black Bolt. Remember, I've never read a comic, so I'm not an expert. But I guess that Iron Man was supposed to be Tom Cruise at one point. Imagine that. I'm kind of like, no. Fuck that. And the shitty part is, okay, this is another spoiler. So if you don't want to know, I'm stopping right now. Spoiler. Yeah, all those new people I just told you, they get killed off. So if you watch Deadpool 2, when a group jumps down, they all get killed. or the new Suicide Squad with that first group and they all get fucking slaughtered. Just like this. You get introduced to all these new people in a different multi-universe and then they get killed. It's like, still, I loved it. I enjoyed seeing, because they caught me off guard. The only thing I knew was Professor Charles Xavier. That was the only one I knew was coming, because they gave that out in a trailer. And it ends on Wanda, again, spoiler. Wanda, in at least this universe, dies. But I don't, in my opinion, she's not dead. Because they didn't really give it that, the music, like when someone dies, like when Scarlett Johansson died, Black Widow, when she died in Avengers Endgame, you knew she was dead. Just the way it was like slow motion, emotional music. You didn't get that in this. You got a little bit, but you can tell she'll be back eventually. But in the ending, in my opinion, I was just like, not really. It had like him having like a third eye pop up right here to be another Doctor Strange, and then, to my opinion, the 2 post credits was really kind of lame. I mean, like the Bruce Campbell, like it was funny and cool, but what I mean by lame is like it really didn't show what was gonna happen next, like the next follow up in the MCU, because you like a lot of times you're introduced like, oh, Black Panther might be next, or so forth, so forth. This was just like, oh, a funny scene, but it was like, we're going to gain nothing out of this. But overall, for a SkyGene score, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. And I was about to give it a 6.5. I really was. But I'm going to watch it again. But as of right now, I still give it a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it to the part where I watched the whole thing, but the middle part was just, it was hard to watch. Like I said though, 7 out of 10 for a SkyGene score is still not that bad. Eventually, I'm gonna go through every single movie, and I'll rank them all. But it's gonna be a minute because I got a bunch of other shit I want to do before then. But until then, Section Monkeys, I will see you later. And remember, if you go to jail, do not drop the soap.